Hi, this is Conrad Zimmerman of FistShark Marketing. If you're a fan of the show, you can spread the word without having to look someone in the eye and experience the shame of knowing that you're about to harm them in an irrevocable fashion. Just give us a 5-star review wherever you get this podcast from and feel good about touching a life. And thanks for listening.
The circus has come to town!
Which circus? Ringling Brothers or Big Top or...
Can you not hear the ting-a-ling of bells in the streets and the raucous cries of excited children as they make their way to the big top? Roll up! Roll up!
Yeah, no, I mean, circus comes to town twice a year, so that's, I mean...
Well, thrice a year from now on, because let me tell you, brother, there's a new circus in town.
Oh, okay. All right, so this is like a new client opportunity then.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, the best thing about it is it's already an existing client of ours who started this circus up.
Really?
Yeah. A guy in our books, young, ambitious, hot-headed go-getter, always had potential, has had many opportunities, and always made the best of them. He was the man who was the best, and he's got a great idea for a circus.
Now I'm going to back up just a second, because I swear...
Yeah.
Because I mean, it all sounds really exciting.
Yes, I'm excited.
There's just one little detail that sort of stuck out that we seem to sort of gloss over in your description of this person. Did you say the man who was the bat?
Yes.
Because that, you see, that changes things. A little bit.
Kind of. I mean, it narrows down who could be running the circus that is now a thing. But who am I talking about? Though? George Clooney? Christian Bale? Michael Keaton?
Please tell me it's a Michael Keaton circus.
No.
Tell me it's at least any of the other ones you listed, because if it's not them, that really only leaves...
Right. Okay, well, how many men have been let's list out the men who have portrayed Batman in the Batman films. We got the most recent, of course, Ben Kingsley.
Incredibly talented actor.
Absolutely. Huge fan of him.
Puts his heart and soul into everything he does. It's just...
facing a little bit of flack after, Batman vs. Superman, but I still think Ben Kingsley has got what it takes to be a legendary batted man.
Yes. Oh, and could be a phenomenal circus ringmaster. I can see... That would be great.
He's got the showmanship, the live theatrical production chops. That's why this is going to be a great circus. It would be if it was him, but it's not him.
Oh. Well, all right. So we had Ben Kingsley, and then before that, we had Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, of course.
But it's not Christian Bale.
No, not Christian Bale.
Let's see. We had George Clooney. George Clooney could be good, although it doesn't really seem like it's his scene. And I don't know. I mean, a circus and his sort of liberal-y attitudes, I would think that would be a conflict. I wouldn't expect that of him. So
but he hates live audiences as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Any crowd that's paid money to see him in the same place at the same time, just a real aversion to them. So, that's why we cancelled Les Miserables.
Whoa, Adam West. It could be Adam West, right?
Fuck no, friend. I mean, let me give you a little clue. I'll give you a little clue, okay? Because I feel like we've danced around this mulberry bush long enough. The mulberries are starting to fall off the bush. It's been such a long... I don't know where that analogy was going, but let's just tell you that this circus is called the Kilmer Brothers Travelling Cirque. French for circus. That got confusing, so he's just called it Kilmer Brothers Circus.
Yeah, I can see how that could pose a challenge for... Okay, you said traveling.
Well, they... Like I said, it was originally Kilmer Brothers Traveling de Cirque. Now it's just Kilmer Brothers Circus. Mostly because the wheels on the wagons that they were transporting the circus, the tents and the animals and everything, all their wheels were stolen.
Somebody came and stole all the wheels off the wagons.
Yeah. I mean, specifically, Val Kilmer stole from his own circus and pawned the wagons for Sonic money. He wanted a slushie at Sonic. He didn't need to cash in that many wheels for one Sour Apple slushie.
That seems excessive.
No, but he now has a lot of money in the bank for future slushies, so he doesn't have to sell any elephants, which is good because he killed and ate those on the first night.
It's not then a traveling circus. It's just, going to be a permanent fixture in Boston?
It's mostly a tent.
Well, that's a modest circus.
It's got sawdust.
Okay, all right. So you can eat peanuts in there?
No.
Oh.
No.
With the...
I'd rather not tell you why they can't eat peanuts in there. Fuck you for making me think of that.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was so distressing. Okay, well, let's maybe move on. And so he's opened up. Does he at least have some acts to perform in the circus?
Oh, why would the peanuts? Huh? Oh, acts.
Yeah,
yes.
Performances.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be much of a circus if it didn't have acts.
Well, I wouldn't think.
No,
but I mean, if it's just one big top, it has to be a pretty good show under there in order to draw people in.
Yeah, the elephants are not necessarily scrapped from the billing. They are mostly eaten, but we've got the skulls, so we can do something with those.
How many elephant skulls do you have?
How many elephant skulls do you need? What's the optimum number of elephant skulls for a good circus act? I don't know if anyone's done... Hang on. There's got to be a Google calculator for that. Shit! You need 17 and we've got 5.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's a small...
Okay.
Maybe we can set up some just minor dance routine. Do you have a group of performers that we could use, to implement them in some way? Because people come to a circus, they expect to see elephants, and we ought to provide that to them.
I mean, we could throw some tarp over the bones, and then a system of weights and pulleys, and we've got a kind of macabre mockery of an elephant. Some sort of pachydermal puppetry.
Okay, all right. Oh, we can make that work. We'll grab some tarps, we'll put them over a skeleton of an elephant, maybe get 1 or 2 people to manipulate it from underneath.
That's it, and that'll be our opening act. Val Kilmer's Nightmare Elephant Bones.
Well, we'll use a lot of smoke machines.
Yes, people love smoke.
Right, and that'll more or less disguise the fact that we're marching around elephant bones. We don't even have to tell them they're bones.
And that's actually good because I've still got that shipment of those smoke machines that didn't sell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the ones that instead of producing that sort of non-toxic fog, produce literal smoke and often fire. So we'll get rid of those, no problem.
Well, there we go. I mean, we're going to be able to clear an investment off of our books by putting it into a business for one of our clients. That is how you keep revenue streaming circular through a corporation.
Yes. Well, it's like the old saying goes, you're killing 5 elephants with 500 faulty electronics.
Okay, so we've got the elephants sorted out.
Yes.
What else do we have?
Jeremy Renner.
Oh. Wow, the talent just doesn't stop, does it?
No, the talent doesn't stop. He's doing something cool though.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, we've seen Jeremy Renner of late, trying out new things. He started that band. He's done some performance art. So I know he's a man of many talents.
Hidden depths. Let's call it what it is. He's a man of hidden depths.
So what hidden depths of Jeremy Renner's are going to be plumbed.
He's going to be fucking a bucket of cottage cheese. Picture it in your mind's eye. Jeremy Renner, naked as the babe in the wood.
I could see that.
Fully erect, like a proud mastiff dog, about to fuck a bucket of cottage cheese, which incidentally is what Jeremy Renner, that dirty circus dog, is about to do himself. He hunches over, squatting like a man about to defecate in the most natural way possible. The woods, where the babes are, as he dips his wick in a rusted bucket of room temperature moistened cottage cheese, grunting and sweating for our pleasure, nipples hard, eyes dilated, Val Kilmer whipping him into a frenzy. Deadmau5 spinning the decks while he does it.
Huh.
He's not confirmed, but you could stick a rat helmet on anybody and no one would tell the difference.
You had me up until Deadmau5.
Alright, we'll swap him out. I'll shave off my head, put on some thick glasses and pretend I'm Skrillex.
There we go. Perfect.
Beautiful. It's not just cottage cheese either.
No?
Every Friday, if you go to the primetime 7 o'clock performance, he'll even fuck a bucket of chum.
Where are you getting the chum?
I got a chum guy.
I'm impressed.
It's a good lineup so far, huh? Elephants, Jeremy Renner, buckets, cheese, chum, Skrillex. What more do you need at a circus?
Well, I feel like we need more animals.
More animals. Oh, yes! No, we've got an animal parade. It's a veritable bestiary of innocent childhood laughs.
Fantastic, because an animal parade, march out a group of animals, and people can see exotic beasts and things that they wouldn't get exposed to in their city lives, can be an exciting and beautiful thing to witness.
Yes. And when people witness the parade of the wingless birds, I feel that not only are they going to be delighted and charmed and introduced to a world of wonder and natural mystery, they're going to feel a little tinge of humanity in their heart, just a little sadness, just to make the good times all that more fun.
Did you mean to say the parade of flightless birds? Like your penguins and so forth?
No. These are specifically wingless birds. Two of them are penguins, but those little motherfuckers don't got wings.
Are these surgically removed? Or are they stumps?
We're not entirely sure. I mean, it's evidenced from some of them. The pigeons especially aren't hiding it, that they did have wings at one point. We don't know if they were lost in, some sort of lawn mowing accident, if Val Kilmer bit them off, if they were indeed surgically removed, if lasers were involved, car accidents. All we know is that these birds are very wingless and very confused about it.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it just looks like static on the screen. That's the problem. It's a combination of the night vision and, I mean, let's be honest, I think we have too many flies.
Maybe I'm looking at it from a different angle because I know what's going on and my mind's filling in the blanks. So where our test audiences are just seeing lots and lots of flies, I can see Millie, or Vanilli, whichever one it was, I could see him there eating the ice cream.
Right.
I know he's eating ice cream there. But then I already knew that. And maybe that's why I can see Millie / Vanilli eating ice cream. And everyone else is just seeing flies around Millie Vanilli, on the ice cream, in front of the camera lens. They're just basically just seeing a 100% fly situation.
Thankfully, they had the presence of mind to have the sound of the flies buzzing around canceled out.
Yeah. Well, I had originally suggested that they mic up each individual fly, get a very, very, very tiny lavalier mic onto each fly, but they told me that was a fanciful notion that a baboon of a man would come up with.
I can see how someone might say that, but you were really you wanted to create the fullest, richest experience possible. I think I might have been in support of that, but if they don't think it's workable.
Well, I'm just saying if TLC comes to us and pitches Fly House, the ultimate celebrity reality TV show, I'm instantly thinking about the flies, you know?
Well, yeah, it's right there in the title, Fly House.
Yeah, some people might want to see Paulie D living in a house, getting up to hijinks with all the other celebrities in there. But it's called Fly House. I'm thinking about the flies, how many flies are in that house, how the flies are going to negatively affect any celebrity that sets foot inside the house. And I feel like I got that from the test episode. I feel like the pilot showed to me that living in a house of flies, which originally was going to be the working title of the show, but they thought that Fly House rolled off the tongue better than House of Flies. But either way, I got the sense it'd be fucking horrible living in there.
Yeah, that has been borne out. I mean, even if it's very, very difficult to see anything, it all comes through very clear in the audio. When Downtown Julie Brown woke up after being brought into the house and opened her eyes, the scream. And then how quickly it was muffled as the space in her mouth was filled with flies.
I mean, that's one of my favourite things about the show. There's no such thing as negative space. A lot of shows, especially reality TV shows, they waste so much space. Open mouths, open doors, open fridges. Here, anything that's opened is quickly filled with flies because there's no room for the amount of flies that are in that house.
Right, yeah, it's just, they would automatically venture into that way. Now, it's kind of challenging, like with the fridge, as you mentioned, because they fly into there, and then the fridge gets closed, and they're trapped, and they die pretty quickly with that cold, right? But what's fascinating about that is that once the door opens, there's a small spillage of flies that leads out onto the floor, and then immediately more flies into the fridge.
Just whoomph. I mean, that's because at Fly House, they are dedicated to pumping in as many flies as possible. No matter how many flies are going to die in a fridge, in the toilet, just getting stepped on, just getting crushed against each other with the weight of the mass that's in there. There are several pipes fitted into the house that are just constantly throwing more flies in.
It's a really, really impressive undertaking. But still, I mean, it's kind of a lot of flies.
It's a lot of flies, I'll grant you, but I can't help feeling that these focus groups would be disappointed if there weren't more flies. I mean, they're saying there's too many flies now, but that's because they've got an embarrassment of flies. If we started taking flies away, I think they'd soon notice it. It's like they say in editing, a good editor is almost invisible, because you don't know they're there, but you notice when an editor fucks something up. Now imagine I said all of what I just said, but about there being a lot of flies in our house, and I think you'll start coming round to my way of thinking.
I see your perspective, but what I don't see is anything on the screen. Like, one could change the channel to this and think that there's something wrong with their set. I don't know, maybe we just need some graphics. You just put some overlay graphics on it.
That'd be good. Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to think of ways to get people more involved with the show. Because I do agree that having so many flies, you can't make out a damn thing through the buzzing miasma. It's a difficult watch. It's hard to get into. It's a bit like Twin Peaks like that. But some graphics, visual overlays, just something to clearly communicate what's going on. I can see that working.
Well, and I think that once people are invested in it, they'll be hooked in, right? Because there's so many questions that are going to have to be answered. Like, where do you sleep? When you sleep, how do you get the flies out of the crevices? You know, when they crawled in. What happens when the flies start getting hungry? Because there's a limited amount of food in here, and we're not bringing in more food.
No. If anything, it's our hope that the celebs that are in there are going to just resort to the flies, since there's already so many flies in them at any given time.
Well, and they're gonna wind up waist deep in no time. I mean, within three weeks, if they don't do something about that, they're gonna be in some serious trouble.
Well, the need to conserve and clear space is something I find wholly fascinating. The little subplot that seems to be running through at the moment, where the other housemates are really annoyed at Katie Tunstall because she was sick on the bathroom floor, because of the amount of flies.
Right.
And they weren't so much upset that there was vomit on the floor, they were upset because they couldn't afford that space to be taken up by anything that wasn't them or flies. So they were worried that Katie Tunstall vomiting would just be that extra bit of taken space that's too much.
Well, as it turned out, though, it all worked out in the end because a lot of the flies immediately went to the vomit as a source of food.
They cleaned that up quick. Not so quick that there wasn't that audible crack in the building's foundation. But so long as the flies work as quickly as they've been working on the vomit, then I don't think we're going to have too much structural damage to the house.
No. I was really impressed at how quickly Lenny Kravitz was on the ball, grabbing a bandana and covering his nose and mouth.
He's a quick man.
He is going to come out as the guy to watch in this game, I think. I really expect him to be among the last three survivors. Yeah.
Yes. He has designated a filth corner because he worked out before anyone else that the toilet is just a waste of time now. So he's got his grotesque little latrine corner. He's been hoarding food. I know that because we stuck a GoPro on a couple of the celebrities' heads and I've been able to make out through the thick buzzing fog, hands grabbing sandwiches and burying them in the backyard. So Lenny, I think, is definitely going to outlive the others. Katie is looking very ill now. I don't think that vomit was a one-off. Probably looking at her first limb there.
Well, as long as they either dispose of her quickly, or, I mean, do you think the flies will dispose of her as quickly? Because that's a dense product. Like,
I mean, is it going to be the flies or the housemates? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a tough call. That's a real tough call. Now, they do have that grill out on that back patio.
That's true.
Cooking's an option, but getting the grill actually lit could be a challenge. Just, to have enough oxygen to ignite the flame. But once it's going, actually should be a really useful little corner. Someone's going to want to lay claim to that barbecue pit, get things going quickly.
Or at the very least, just keep it on all the time, because that's just going to naturally burn a few flies. And then they might have oxygen for other things, like breathing.
Well, probably be a lot of smoke, because that is, an entirely enclosed patio.
Well, obviously, we don't want the flies getting out.
Right, yeah. But so they'll probably wind up pushing flies out of that area due to a lack of oxygen.
Right. That gives some nice breathing space for the celebrity. Well, not breathing space, obviously.
But space.
Space without flies.
Right.
I think Nick Offerman's going to love that little corner with the grill. He don't like flies. I've been picking that up, watching him kind of pass out and bleed.
Class act the whole way through. He doesn't let it show, right? He's just very straight about it.
Yeah.
He's very serious. And he's there to perform. He's there to win. He's not let the flies really get in his way. I mean, apart from the constant sort of passing out.
He's one of comedy's young up-and-comers, and I think the way he's handled the flies and the bleeding and the passing out is only going to endear him to the public just as soon as they can make him out and know that it's him. Right now, I think a lot of people are thinking that it's Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, I can see how you could make that mistake. They sound very much alike.
They sound very much alike, and it's only been 5 days in their house, but most of the people that live there now have very, very white hair.
FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling and Conrad Zimmerman. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alazar Chand. Our editor is Austin Yorsky. Get more episodes and learn how to support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, truth is subject to interpretation. Goodbye.